So our third storyteller tonight is Sheila Dyer. Sheila is an artist, a drama teacher, an educator, an actor, a consultant. She's a trainer and a storyteller and a story collector. Love that. And so much more. She has taught drama for over 35 years in both the UK and in Canada. Her passions are all about life, creativity, and her family. She is very excited to be president of the Kelowna Arts Council and to celebrate the opportunity to work with many of the creatives right here in Kelowna. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Sheila Dyer.
Oh, I gotta say, the first two people who spoke, I'm so moved by them. I just want to just go into a little corner and just sit and think and be quiet and maybe cry. Just a little bit. It's really strange. This evening is the first time I've been out past about 6 o'clock for over 4 weeks. I suffered a concussion, and I work with special needs children as one of the jobs that I do. And the young man I was working with was a nonverbal autistic child who had kind of a rough day, and he was a little bit not all together, and he didn't get his way. And he sometimes when you work with kids who have difficulties, they will lash out, and especially if they can't speak. And we use a computer with him to talk, but that day he didn't want anything to do with the computer. He just wanted what he wanted, and he cuffed me off the side of my head, which kind of knocked me for 7 a little bit. And then just as I got my bearings again, and he started to rush toward the area he wasn't supposed to be, I had my arms full of things. I stopped him, and he grabbed me by both shoulders and head-butted me directly into the center of my head. And I got dropped like a stone. So anyway, if I kind of lose it a little bit tonight, it's because cognitively I'm a little bit fucked up. Score. So anyway, some people could say that I always was, but I'm blaming it on the concussion. That's what I'm doing. So my talk tonight, I titled it as Many Faces of Me, because I wasn't really sure what to talk about, and I thought, one of the things that has come to light as I get older in life is that we go through so many processes of who we are as human beings. When we're young, we expect one thing, and then we get a little bit older, we expect something else, and we get a little older. And in every single phase, we are a full human being, but we're totally different than the human being we were even 10 years before that, even though the core of us is still the same. And one of the things that I've really learned is that over the course of time in my life is that I have worked a lot of different jobs and I worked with a lot of different personalities, and every part of my personality has come out in any one of those situations. When I was younger, my mother always wanted me to be a secretary because my passion was drama and art. And even though my mother was a visual artist, she always kept saying, it's important to have something to fall back on. It's very important to have something to fall back on. People always need secretaries. But what was ridiculous is that I was slightly dyslexic. And the only way I got through grade 10 typing was feigning illness. Because as soon as they turned on the clock to get me to type fast, everything stopped. I couldn't move my fingers, my head went crazy, the words on the page jumbled all over the place, and I would feign illness. And the sweet, sweet man at the end of my grade 10 year gave me a 51 just to pass me and get me out of the class. But I realized that I had a talent for maybe saving myself, because it was humiliating, it was horrible, it was a horrible gut-wrenching thing to go through something like that. And back then, because I'm old, they didn't know a lot about dyslexia, and they didn't know a lot about a lot of the things that we know about now, which is tremendous. In terms of theater, the first time I realized that this is what I wanted to do somehow, somewhere in my life, I was in grade 5, and we were doing a dramatization of. Oh gosh, I just lost. See, there you go. It's gone. Okay, you're gonna have to help me, because literally this is what's been happening to me. Halfway through I'm talking, and it's gone out of my head. So you're gonna have to help me. There is a song, an old song, about a motorcycle guy, and he goes so fast, and he's the girl, and then there's a big smash. It's leader of the pack. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yay! I knew somebody could do that. Thank you very much. It may not be the first time I have to get you to do this. So I'm glad that you just stay on your toes, because I might just go, okay. So we did leader of the pack, and I was the girlfriend. And we did this dramatization, and I started to cry because, of course, my boyfriend had died. He was right there, the whole smash and everything. Tears poured down my face. And while it was happening, I realized I had this power. And I looked around, and I thought, everybody is upset. Everybody believes that I'm the girlfriend who's just lost my boyfriend. And it was an extraordinary thing, because at that point, I still remember the feeling in me. I like this. I need to do this. I need to do something about this. But it took me years and years and years before I actually got into doing what I absolutely love doing now. And that is working with people with trauma. And that means special needs children, special needs adults. That means adults, professionals working in a capacity of finding communication skills and finding ways to help people develop their own presence and their own strength, and coaching. And I tell you, you want a drama class, I'll do one right now. It doesn't matter where I am. It is something that is so close to my skin, it just oozes out, and it is my absolute passion. Unfortunately, it takes a long time to figure out exactly what your passions are. And as I said, the many faces of me, I was a riding instructor and decided that the best thing in the world for me to do was to run a kids camp all year round and do programs for kids and do riding instructing, because that is just so extraordinary, and I look so good in the summertime because I'm fit and I'm strong and I always get a tan, except my cowboy boots go up to here and my shorts are up here, so you get a funny one, right? And then a little bit later in life, I got involved doing theater stuff, but I was so, it's funny, people think that I'm an outgoing person, which I am. I have a sister who always says that she's the shy one, and I'm the one that's outgoing. And in actual fact, the reason I never really made it in the theater was because I was so painfully shy and so painfully insecure that if I was turned down in an audition, it would just about kill me. And I worked professionally for about 12 years, but every job that I had was given to me because someone worked with me in that position, and they went, we want you to do this, and I'd go to that, and we want you to do this, and I'd go to that. But as soon as I sat in front of a panel of people like you, and I had to perform for you, I was done. And it's really hard, because we we go through our lives and we think, we should have had a path. My path should have been like this. I should have gotten into Banff School of Fine Arts instead of getting clumsy in the middle of it and going, oh, fuck it, and having that on tape. They send you the tape after you do your audition. And I couldn't believe it, because at that point I wasn't even a swearer. I am now, but I wasn't then. And I have this audio tape of my audition at Banff School of Fine Arts, where I screwed up and swore in front of the judges. And I'm still devastated by that experience. Oh, God. Anyway, all the way through university, I had an opportunity to do all kinds of theater, and it was wonderful. I noticed that OKM is doing Anything Goes. I played in Anything Goes. It was wonderful. And it was, again, an extraordinary experience. But it was one that, because I was in university, people knew me and they could hire me. But again, you cannot be, well, there's no such thing as perfection, right? No, not in the world. And I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it tonight. The final night of Anything Goes, we played for about 8 nights in a theater that holds 800,000 people in Queen's University. Well, I was at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. Alumni, oil fly in Novandrigan. And I stood up there. We were up there in the middle of the play, and we'd done it all the way through for 8 nights. And a split second, just not even a split second, in my head I go, this is great. Because the play is going on, and there's lights, and there's sound, and the orchestra's there. And it was just like that moment of when I was in grade 4 or 5, going, I can do this. I can make people feel things. In that moment, someone miscued me. And I went, do you hear that playing? Do you hear that playing? Which is the cue to the orchestra to go. I skipped about 6 pages of dialogue. And all of a sudden, the whole orchestra, I can still remember them going, the looks on their face, and trumpets come up and they start singing, blah, 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 and the entire cast had to jump the 6 pages to catch up to me. And so I went off, and at that point, I'm leading this song, oh, blow, Gabriel, blow, oh, blow, Gabriel, blow, ah, na, 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 and in my head, I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe I've done this. The entire cast is dancing behind me, and we're singing and we're dancing. And what I didn't know is right behind me, where I gave out this miscue, all of the action that was supposed to happen in the 6 pages had to be mimed and taken place, right? So they're taking place, all this stuff's going on. So, end of the scene goes down, great, uproarious applause, and I go off stage and I'm shitting bricks. Oh my God. But what they've done while I've been doing this song and dance thing is they talked to each other backstage, and they ad-libbed most of the next scene to fill in all of the gaps that I had missed. And the entire show went on without a hitch. My dad had seen the show 3 times, and he didn't notice anything that went different. And I said, are you serious? Yeah. So what I realized is that, as I said, that nobody's perfect. We can never be fully what we expect to be up here, because life just doesn't do that to us. I've been very, very lucky. I have a wonderful husband and 2 incredible children, a cat, a dog, and a bunch of fish. And at the moment, the fish are the only ones that aren't getting along. But no matter how hard life gets, creativity has kept me going. And that means the love of a piece of art. It means the love of a piece of music, sitting with singer-songwriters and hearing what comes out of their minds, watching people learn and start to explore. Just recently we finished 8 weeks of storytelling workshops with a small group of us. And it was the most wonderful thing to me to hear people sharing their stories, and often intimate parts of their stories. And over the course of 8 weeks, we cried, we laughed to the point of almost falling off our chairs. We appreciated and ended up loving each other by the end of the whole thing, because we had shared all the most amazing things of our lives. And being the chameleon that I am, it's funny, I was going to talk more about that, but I've got in another totally different direction. That's okay. I know that there's something in me that will keep me going in my life, partly because I watched my mother at 83 continue to keep going, and to find creativity and to find inspiration and love and happiness and warmth. And I've seen how people love her. And I figure if I do a little bit of what my mom's done, I'm probably going to be okay. And when I was young, I was a chameleon. And I think that's why I loved doing drama, because I could go in and I could be whatever people expected me to be. And so, I was the girl who was holding the other girl's hair up while she threw up in the toilet at the school dances. And I would go into a group at a party, and I could find the people who were feeling most vulnerable at that party, and would go and talk to them and befriend them. And I've discovered that in me there's such an incredible I have a very big heart, I've discovered. and that I have such incredible love and respect for so many of the special needs people that I work with. And I've worked with difficult kids in high schools and that kind of thing. And whenever I think about not doing those things, not being a chameleon, I used to think it was a negative thing because I wasn't being true to myself, I was being someone else. But what I've discovered is that in actual fact, it's okay to be that kind of chameleon, as long as in the midst of it I remember that I'm also part of a wonderful family and I have people who love me, and that no matter what happens in life, I am blessed to have so many creative and beautiful, wonderful people with me. And I thank you so much tonight for letting me tell you little bits of my story. Bless you.
Thank you, Sheila. You are a blessing to us. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. So we are going to invite our amazing musician back. I'm going to invite Maggie Ray up to introduce her, and then